when I say I began to manifest things that I had been praying for, like every single thing that I prayed for, I began to see it come to pass. Things that I had been struggling with, listen, things I had struggled with for years, haven't seen them since. And this was 2 months ago.
One look and I breathe.
Hello family, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Candace Long, and this is my very first full-length video. I have been doing shorts for a little over a year now, and this is the first time that I'm doing a full-length video. And when this occurrence happened in my life, I was like, okay, now I finally feel the release to go ahead and start doing full-length videos, because now I got something to talk about. So many of you have probably seen or heard of the interview with Pastor James, who had come out of the occult. I heard this interview probably like 3 days after it was posted on YouTube, and it's very interesting because this interview is the reason why I did this 30 days of prayer. So just a little background. At the beginning of November, I had already been on sort of a path to getting stronger and tighter in my relationship with God. I had already recommitted myself to being more faithful and structured in my devotions and more consistent. I had already recommitted myself to becoming a warrior. And God has shown me, while I was reading the book of Judges, He showed me a place in which some of the children of Israel who had not gone to war as they did with Joshua, they were just living among the enemy. And God showed me how I was kind of living among things in my life that I needed to overcome. And so in that scripture, he says he tested them to see if they would be children of war. And so when I read that, I said, okay, I am going to be a child of war. But something that I prayed was, how do I do that? Like, I listened to a lot of sermons on spiritual warfare, but like I needed to be stirred up. So this was where I was a week before seeing the video. Exactly a week after me having this determination and realization that I'm going to strengthen my walk, my sister sends me this video. Now, if you have not seen the video, this is not going to provide spoilers because I'm not going to go into great detail, but I do want to talk about the part that touched me the most. So there was a scene in which he talked about a fast that a church had done, and there was a fast between 20 women and one male pastor. And this particular scene touched me so much because the scenarios that he talked about were things that I had seen in my life and in my church. I worked in full-time ministry at my church. I was a minister in training at my church. And so I felt like I had encountered some of the same things, and I felt like I had failed God in some of the same ways. And so I was just determined that I was going to reclaim territory over my life, over my purpose, and over the call that God had for my life. And so after seeing that, I decided to personally go on a 30-day praying every night. So now I'm just going to talk about 5 things that I encountered while I did this 30 days of prayer. Okay. The first thing is distraction. Between days 1 and 10, I felt like I was under attack. And I had a situation that happened to me that was very traumatizing in college when I was a chaplain. At my university, I was a chaplain of a gospel choir, and I had an encounter with a girl who was demon possessed, and it was a very traumatizing experience. And so something about praying every night really triggered the fear and the anxiety that I had back then after that situation. So for like the first I want to say 7 days, I was extremely afraid. I was afraid of the spiritual realm. I was afraid of demonic things. I was afraid to look in the mirror thinking, oh, maybe I'm going to see a demon. And it was very unusual to me because that was not something that I had encountered. But while talking to my mother really expressed to me that it is important that the enemy distracts me with things that don't matter so that he can try to shift my prayers. Because I was so fearful, my prayers were kind of geared towards the occult and witchcraft and praying against certain things, which if that's what God is leading you to pray for, then by all means do so. But that was not where God was leading me. That was where fear was leading me. And so through talking to my authority and through reading the Bible in my prayer time, I was really able to overcome fear. And so I don't know if anybody else has ever encountered this when you've embarked on a long prayer journey. If you have, please leave it in the comments. But this was the first thing that I encountered. I was very distracted by the demonic, very distracted by evil. Another thing that really kind of played part in being a distraction was time. Like I said, I was having Bible study at night. I was in a Christmas production, and there would be some nights where we would get home at 11 p.m. There would be some nights where I would get home at 12 a.m. There was one night I got home at like 12:30. And this was a distraction for me because I have a hard time sleeping. I am not really good. I'm not a good sleeper. And I think also with me moving to another country, I live in Indonesia. With me living in another country that is completely opposite in time, I've just had a hard time sleeping. So I was very distracted in my mind about, am I going to be able to sleep? Am I going to get enough sleep? I have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning for work. And so that was always something that was trying to shake my commitment to prayer. But it didn't matter what time I got home. It didn't matter when it was. I was determined that I was going to pray for an hour. So that was a distraction that I had to push through. I think the most exciting thing that I got from doing this is number 4, and that is an assignment. I moved, like I said, to Indonesia. I've been living in Indonesia for about 6 months, almost 7 months. And when I got here, I knew that God told me to come here, but I was like, okay, now I'm here. Now what? What is it that I should be doing? And during this time, God spoke very specifically to me through the scriptures of what I should be doing, what I should be doing in this season, exactly who I should be praying for. And that was so rewarding to me because it was so clear when God spoke that to my heart. And it just it made me encouraged. It made me encouraged to continue. And it really propelled me in being ready to move forward in the new year. The actual 4th thing, because the previous thing was the 3rd thing, the actual 4th thing is I built a habit. Now, I know that anything you do for 21 days, it becomes a habit. I didn't really think about it when I set out to do this for 30 days. I really just wanted to pray for 30 days. But after the 30 days was over, it was not like I didn't feel okay about not continuing. And so I really continued the practice. Now, some nights I won't pray for an entire hour, but all of the things that I did within my prayer hour, which in my prayer hour, I did not just pray. If you would like a video for me to talk about what exactly my prayer hour looked like every night, leave a comment down in the comment section and I'll make a separate video about that. But I just was not able to go back to not spending quality time in prayer. Like I couldn't just like, dear Lord, please keep me safe as I go to sleep. No, I had to continue in writing down my prayer petitions and actually fervently going into prayer. So much so that I want to say like 5 days after I did the 30 days, me and my sisters did a different prayer fast for 7 days. And so once you start, it really puts you on a path for change and growth, and it is beautiful. And lastly, the fifth thing is I felt victorious. After finishing this, I felt so victorious at like I really could do all things through Christ who strengthened me. And the reason that was so important to me was because previously, I want to say just in the year 2023 period, I had started and failed so many fasts. I had started and failed a fast with a friend. I had started and failed so many fasts on my own, and I just kind of felt defeated in the area of fasting. And with this prayer fast, something God showed me was in all of my fasts previously, my focus was on what I was removing. So whether it be food, social media, television, but my focus was never on what to add into my life. So whenever you remove something from your life, you have to add something to your life. And God was like, you never replaced what you took out with me, with my word. And that's why your previous fasts weren't successful. So the 30-day fast I did, the 7-day fast I did, these were all things that I was able to finish, and I felt victorious. So much so it has propelled me into new purpose in 2024 to where I am really ready to be a child of war. So all in all, this was a life-changing experience for me. And I really think that you should try it. If you have been seeking God for something, if you have been praying for something, I really believe that you should do this time of prayer, not only prayer, but consecration. I'll put a link in the description box of several videos that I use that help me in this journey. And if you like this video, if you want to see more videos like this, please don't forget to subscribe. Please also hit the bell notification button so that you can be notified anytime I upload, which will be weekly. This month will be an entire series of prayer. So we'll be talking about prayer all month. If there are things that you are interested in and you want to know about, especially about prayer, please leave it in the comments section. And I pray that this was helpful and you are able to be blessed for the rest of your day. Enjoy, God bless, and I will see you next time. Bye.